You are watching the third part of the second lesson from the course Programming in C++. In this part of the lesson, we will know what are the pointers and how to use them. In the preview part of the lesson, we had downloaded examples from the website on Gradient.com. I suggest you to open example number 5. Learn how to access information that is stored in a variable using the address of the variable. We know how to receive an address of a variable, but in order to use it, we have to save the address somewhere. To store the address of the variable, we must create new variable that would store the address of some other variable. The variables that contain addresses of other variables are called pointers. When we are creating a pointer, a variable that will store the addresses of variables in the computer memory, we must use special operator. Consider the fifth example. In the second line of the code, we are declaring a variable a. In the third line of the code, we are declaring a pointer. It is necessary to remember, the pointer is also a variable, so we also must set the type of the variable, the type for pointer in this case. The type of the pointer is init. That means that this pointer can store the addresses of the variables which type is also init. It will not be possible to save in this pointer an address of a variable with some other type. After we have set the type of the pointer, but before the identifier of the pointer, we must put an asterisk. The asterisk says to compiler that it will be a pointer, but not a variable. Without an asterisk, we will create a variable, but not a pointer. In the 8th line of the code, we initializing a pointer. Here we have saved in the pointer the address of variable a. Compile and run this example. We output to the console the address of the variable 2 times. For the first time using the reference operator before the variable. The second time as the value of the pointer to the variable. Program code explains the result. Consider the 6th example of the lesson. In the second line of the code, we declare a pointer to a variable. In the first line, the pointer gets the value. This is the address of variable a. In the 6th line of the code, variable a assigns a value. Please note, we refer to the variable without using the identifier of the variable. We have used the address of the variable that was stored in the pointer to the variable. There is an asterisk before the pointer. It is so-called dereference operator. This operator lets us access the information that is stored in the variable using the address of the variable. Let me explain the example graphically. The pointer contains the address of the variable. If we put an asterisk before the identifier of the pointer, we obtain access to information that is stored in the variable. Here is a question for you. What will be the output of the program to the console? Compile and run the program. This is in the 6th example of the lesson. Check yourself. This is the output of the program and the answer for the question. The 7th example. Declare 3 variables and 2 pointers. Saving the addresses of the variables. Initializing variable a using the identifier of the variable. Also initializing variable b using the pointer to the variable b. Find the result of the sum of the values of two variables. Show the comments for this example. I hope you understand what the result will be displayed in the console. Compile and run the file with the 7th example of the lesson. To verify understanding of the material, use next example for the lesson. What will be displayed in the console? I will give a help in the form of comments. Compile and run the program. Hope you read that right. In conclusion, we consider the 9th example. First, note that the variables have type float. Therefore, the pointers are also declared with the type float. Second, try to understand the 8th line of the code. We assign to the pointer for variable a the address of the variable c. After that, the pointer will contain the address of variable c, so it will become the pointer to variable c. The operation of assigning to the pointer the address that is stored in some other pointer is possible if the pointers have the same type. In our case, their type is float. Here are comments to this example. Think about what the program will output to the console. Compile and run the 9th example of the lesson. Check yourself. The lesson is over. Please do next exercises for self. Compile and run the 10th example of the lesson. Find out what is the maximum and minimum values can be entered as an input for the program. Modify the code so that to extend the range of possible values that can take the program. Suggest variant of program code optimization. Rewrite the program code so that the program does not use identifiers, but only pointers to the variables. The 3rd lesson will focus on control structures. We will learn how to control programs using logical conditions. Waiting for you in the next lesson.